What's going on, all you wild Dexter fans out there? Your favorite serial killer is back on the small screen, and these two wild uncles are back right here on this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. We are back to review a TV show that has returned, seeing the return of one of our, favorite TV characters of all time coming back into the franchise, where he his career blew up, really, and the character blew up into what it is now, spawning all these other shows in this Dexter universe. But yeah, awesome seeing him back. It's the return of Dexter, and this one's called Dexter Resurrection.
I heard you to be careful, son. I'm tired of being careful. What do you think?
Yeah, that's right. Our favorite serial killer is back at it. Michael C. Hall returning into his best role, in my opinion, for sure. Returning to this iconic role that's been going on for years, really keeping Showtime alive at this point. That Yellow Jackets, just really great seeing him return. He narrated, the prequel series there, but you didn't see him. But we're finally basically seeing what happens after the last series that came out with Dexter. I think he's possibly dead, but we find out more in the first episode and how Mr. Dexter Morgan's back at it and on to his next trip.
Really interesting seeing where they're going with this character now. We got, what was it, six, seven, 8 seasons of the original series. I can't remember what that ended on, somewhere in there. And then we get, a new blood just a couple of years ago, with Harrison, his son, and then just where his character Dexter ended up. He got shot at the end by his son, and seemingly we all thought he was dead. Figured it would end there, but no, he's back. He comes back in an interesting way. He's in the hospital recuperating. They were able to keep him alive, but it's going to be a long road back, before he's on his feet again. And that's where we meet up with Dexter. And right from that beginning scene where we got the flashbacks and him seeing the all the old nemesis, all his old nemesis and friends and people he worked with was really cool. I love that scene, that kind of flashback, and the way they did that was pretty cool. Seeing like the return of the Trinity Killer, I think was the first one we saw. So John Lithgow coming back. What'd you think about that?
Oh, that was the best part of the episode for sure. I didn't see that coming at all. And it's really kind of, all the characters going back to the original series having to do with the Bay Harbor Butcher and the Trinity Killer and his colleagues that he used to work with, motherfucker, showing up and Jimmy Smits. And yeah, I just love all the, characters from the past showing up and like, oh, is Dexter on his last leg? Is he really going to die? Is this what's happening to him having this vision, talking to all these people, saying goodbye? So that was really cool how they did that. And Dexter's laid up in this, New York hospital after what happened to him last, season with his son Harrison, and Harrison's on the run, so you kind of find out what's happening with his character, and he's taking on the family business.
Yeah, taking on the family business. It definitely runs in the family, whether it was, something he thought about or not. I like the new setting in this, going into the city was really interesting for these characters. Harrison taking on a job at a hotel, and he witnesses something that makes him snap, really, just like his dad would have, sees a girl in trouble and ends up killing a guy. So now we have like father like son, but not in a forced way. I figured it would go a different way, but this was really cool seeing this and seeing Dexter come to the city and looking for Harrison and seeing him in the dark passenger and seeing Harry come back and him
That was
having the conversations. That was awesome, seeing those two together again and kind of, like we're used to seeing Dexter, you're hearing his innermost thoughts, you're hearing his inner monologue, you're hearing like, and that's hearing him, you're also moving the story forward in the city here too. And it was about him trying to get back to Harrison, but also there's been serial killings going on in the city having to do with like an Uber driver killer who's been calling Ubers and they've been cutting the heads off of drivers.
yeah, that was really cool how they did that, not just based on Dexter, but more. Popping up in New York City, it's a perfect place, a perfect city to hide, right? where Harrison ends up going and introduces all these other characters, which is really awesome. And I really thought that was a really cool addition to the first few episodes that I watched this season, where it's going to go, and Dexter showing up in New York City and where that's all going to go. But a big name actress shows up in the first few episodes having to do with these serial killers without giving too much away. But yeah, first two episodes I was blown away. I didn't watch any trailers for these. You told me about it. Michael C. Hall returning this character. Sign me up. Always be watching it. Really blown away. Loved how they did everything with this and the flashbacks and the relationship between Dexter and his son and people showing up, finding out about Dexter Morgan, not Jim, but the real Dexter Morgan, and having to do with the Bay Harbor Butcher and stuff that happened in Miami. All coming back into play here. So there's a lot on the line. It's going to be interesting how this season pans out, and I'm already super invested and can't wait to watch the next episode. So that being said, I'm gonna give the first few episodes of Dexter Resurrection 4 out of 5 Michael C. Hall hair pieces.
I was really into these first two episodes. It drew me right back into this world. It felt like the original series. Felt, fresh. Also seeing all the old nostalgic, characters that we got to see. They were able to introduce new characters that seem like, this isn't something we've seen before. And finding out what they're all about was really cool. Yeah. Seeing the big name actress, like you said, and then we're going to see Peter Dinklage coming on in the coming weeks, and seeing where the story of Dexter goes. Going by the end of that second episode, it's kind of taken his character off in like a different path. He's still Dexter, but he's got a little bit different motivation now. So seeing how that's gonna, work in the rest of the season will be really interesting. But yeah, this was a big show, obviously for Showtime, Paramount Plus, and everybody was waiting on this to see how it was, and I thought they did a great job in these first two episodes, and I can't wait for the rest of the season. If it's this good, we're in for a really good season of Dexter, and that's awesome. Love the character and love all the actors. The his son Harrison, that actor's really good too in that role, and I can't wait to see like how he grows from this and like what happens with him and which way he's going to go, if he's going to be able to make amends with Dexter or not. There's so many things and so many storylines here, and in the city, the new settings definitely makes things interesting. So can't wait to see the rest of it. I'm going to give Dexter Resurrection, the first two episodes that just dropped, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 La Guerta hair pieces.
Want to hear from all you wild serial killers out there. What did you like about first few episodes of Dexter Resurrection? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't stab yourself there, sport. Also check these wild rascals on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
That's right. Dexter is going to be at Comic-Con and is going to be
No!
announcing more things, Dexter wise. So it'll be cool to see what, news we learned from there. Obviously, Original Sin, or is it original? Yeah, Original Sin. It's coming back for another season, the prequel, which we ended up, digging after the first couple of clunky episodes, introducing them with the stupid hairpiece and all that. And but yeah, the younger version, that story was cool too, and Christian Slater and all that. So Dexter's definitely, feels alive, and it's cool to be back in this universe again. They beat it to a dead horse before, and then a couple of years went by, and I think everybody was ready for more Dexter. Like, I wish we could get him back, more stories. Everybody's favorite serial killer. So it's cool to be back in this universe, and happy that these first two episodes were good. Look forward to the rest for sure. So thanks for tuning in to our review of Dexter Resurrection. I believe there's going to be 10 episodes in total. So the first two dropped, and we'll get one a week from now on. So we'll be back in a couple months when the whole season is aired, and we'll be back to review the entire season. Can't wait to do it. So until the next Cinephellas TV review, I am Uncle Henry Morgan.
And I'm Logan C. Howell, signing out till the next TV review. Cheers!
Cheers!